RFM ni turakurehera maundu mero mitambo-ini ukiri uguo o muthenya wa mwambiririo kinyagia wa gatano kwambiria thaa 11 cia hwaini kinyagia thinasara na nuthu cia hwaini uria mukagira mathomo kuri arutwo a kirathi gia kanana na kirathi gia form 4 na njira ya imwe kwa imwe.
New chemistry form 4
of class 8.
Yeni mwarimu agafundithia kwetukira mitambo ya RFM. We muciari wina mwana muci muririkanie kuhinguragira mitambo ino niguo agie na kirathi nja ya thukuru. Oho ungienda guteithiriria na njira o yothe thiini wa mubango uyu uri mundu kiombe kanitha kambuni ona kana kiungano namba ya M-Pesa ni kibugo mugwanja igere imwe ithatu ithano inyanya 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 ithatatu. RFM mugambo
form 4
of class 8.
Yeni mwarimu agafundithia kwetukira mitambo ya RFM. We muciari wina mwana muci muririkanie kuhinguragira mitambo ino niguo agie na kirathi nja ya thukuru. Oho ungienda guteithiriria na njira o yothe thiini wa mubango uyu uri mundu kiombe kanitha kambuni ona kana kiungano namba ya M-Pesa ni kibugo mugwanja igere imwe ithatu ithano inyanya 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 ithatatu. RFM mugambo wa ruriri gaka gaitu.
How are you? We want to welcome you back to our classes here at RFM. And I want to welcome every listener, especially those who are in class 8. And I want to say specifically that as time goes by, we will see how we will be helping those who are at home in class 7 and those who are in class 6, 5 and 4. Not actually grade 4, because grade 4 are attending school. Those who are in class 5, 6 and 7, we will have time with you most probably next week, and that is what those are plans which are underway. So I want to welcome you once again. Those who are in class 8, I know you are at home now, and we want to finish the topic on reproduction in class 8. As we conclude that topic, we will revise with the class 7 maybe next time. And now I want us to go back to where we started, and we want to ask ourselves, last time we talked about very many things. If you remember very well, we talked about amniotic fluid, the development. Mostly we talked about the development of the foetus, and we talked about function of the placenta, function of the umbilical cord. Yes, we talked also about the signs of pregnancy, and that is where we stopped last time. And I'll go through in a nutshell. I'll go through signs of pregnancy. That is very important for us to remember. Signs of pregnancy. How can you say that a person is pregnant? We say that we know a person is pregnant when menstruation stops. The other one is breasts become large, tender, and very sensitive. Morning sickness may occur where the woman feel nausea and vomit in the morning. This may last between the first 6 to 8 weeks. At later stage, as you know, the abdomen becomes large to create room for the growing foetus, and then the movement of the foetus can be felt often between 4 to 5 months. There is spitting of saliva time to time, craving and eating of soil and a certain type of food, selecting certain foods to eat and rejecting others. Those were signs of pregnancy. And now today we shall go through a very important stage, the birth process. The birth process. Yes, as you know, in class 4, we learned about characteristics of animals. And the one characteristic is that they reproduce. So when we talk of reproduction, we talk of animals that lay eggs, animals that give birth. Human beings are under the category of animals called mammals according to science. And therefore, we say in reproduction, they give birth. Human beings don't lay eggs. They give birth. You know, there are questions that are asked in the exam. I know this week on a Wednesday, most of the schools will be starting their exams. And before I even go far, I wish to send my to wish you all the best in your exams, the forthcoming exams. Those who are in class 8, those who are in grade 4. So I was trying to bring to attention that there are questions that are brought in the exams, and you are asked, which among the following animals do not lay eggs, but they don't give birth by laying eggs? And you will find somebody saying an animal that give birth lay eggs. So it is very important to know, we human beings, especially not men, we talk of female. Unajua, nowadays things have changed so much. People want to give birth and they are men. We don't want that one to happen. That is abnormal. We are saying male give sperms. In the reproduction, they give sperms. But the work of a female, and I'm not saying that that is their work in this world. I'm very specific that female give birth. So when we talk of birth process, these are processes that take place through female. And we talk of a period in which this woman is a period in which this fetus is staying in the womb. How long does this fetus stay in the womb? And if you remember very well, the zygote, we are talking about the zygote. How long does this zygote stay? And after the zygote, we talk of a mature baby. How long does this baby stay in the womb? That period in which from fertilization to birth, the period between fertilization and birth is called the gestation period. The period between fertilization and birth is called gestation period. In animals, they are gestation period. According to our current curriculum, current syllabus, we don't talk of gestation period of many animals. We just talk of mostly human beings. Yes. So a human being stays for 9 months. 9 months. A female human being stay for 9 months before giving birth. This is equivalent to 40 weeks. You can be asked such a question. Or 280 days. I repeat again. The period between fertilization and giving birth is called the gestation period in a human being. And a human being has a period of 9 months before giving birth, or 40 weeks. And that is 280 days. Hizo ndizo siku abazo ulikaa huko ndani. Unless otherwise, because we have cases in which the mother develops some complications. When a mother develops some complication, we have high technology in our country. They are taken to the hospital. The zygote or the baby is removed from the womb through a process called cesarean, and it is stored. It is stored in an incubator, and in the incubator, the mother is allowed also to give it some milk. That is not very into the syllabus, but we must understand that some of the children they go through that process as they are as mothers develop some complication. So now let us come to the big issue, the birth process. Now after some times we talk of maybe after a duration of time, when the child is almost ready to be delivered, we talk of engagement. The word here I want you to know is engagement. Engagement is a process in which a baby turns in the womb, turns and face the directly above the cervix. The child face directly above the cervix. Yani anaangalia ile njia atatokea. Hawezi toka na mguu. Mtoto akizaliwa hatoki kwa miguu. Hapana. Kichwa yake ndio inaanza kutoka. The head comes out first. So we talk of gestation, we talk of engagement. The word engagement here is turning of the baby to lie in an upside down position. Upside down position. Now, at this time, we talk of during the birth process. We talk of during the birth process. During the birth process, we talk the uterine wall contracts. The uterine wall contracts. Yes, when the uterine wall contracts, the amnion, you remember there is a sac called amnion. That sac is broken in a pasuka. Yes, it can be induced or it can burst naturally. Ina mwaga ile maji. Nakumbuka ile maji tulikuwa tunaongea amniotic fluid. So the amnion is broken and the amniotic fluid is released. I want you to remember very fast. The first process is the engagement, turning of the baby. After turning of the baby, we talk of the uterine wall contracts. Na hapo ndipo mama anapiga nduru kidogo. Kuna uchungu inatokana na pale. Na hapo ndipo Waswahili walisema aujuae uchungu wa mwana ni mzazi. Men cannot be able to understand this, but women know it very well. So hapa ndipo tunaongea kuhusu the uterine wall contract. That contraction of uterine wall, as it is contracting, yes, there is misbehaving of the amnion. As the amnion misbehave, the amniotic fluid is released. Then we talk the uterine wall contraction cause labor pains before the birth take place. Yes, hapa ndipo duru za kuaminika zinatoka, because the uterine wall is contracting. As the uterine wall is contracting, what happened? After contraction of uterine wall, the contraction push the baby downward. What pushes the baby is the contraction of the uterine wall through the cervix. You should know that the contraction of the uterine wall, the uterine wall muscle contract and push the baby through the vagina. I want to repeat that again. The uterine wall muscle, we are talking of the muscle of the uterine wall, and when we talk of the uterine wall, we are talking about the womb wall. Mahali mtoto alikuwa. Ina contract and push the baby through the vagina. At this time, the vagina has already opened, ready to receive this head. The baby comes out of the uterus through the enlarged birth canal. Yes, you remember, vagina is the birth canal. Never forget that. The birth canal is another name for birth canal is the vagina. Na hapo ndipo mtoto anatokea. The head comes out first. Now, we come to a very important thing. Once the baby is born, mtoto akitoka, don't forget akona umbilical cord, na akona we are not talking of akona na umbilical cord. Umbilical cord ndio inatokanga, placenta inakwama huko ndani. Tutaongea kuhusu placenta. It's thick in the womb, and we'll come to that. We call them afterbirth. Once the baby is born, the umbilical cord is tied. Nataka tushike hapo. The umbilical cord. Mnakumbuka umbilical cord, Tulisema umbilical cord. In the umbilical cord there is exchange, is a passage, is a way where the mother helps the baby, where the baby remove the waste product, where the baby take in oxygen, where the baby take food from the mother. I want you to remember very well. Now this time, this baby is already developed. Akona mdomo wake, anaigia ulimwengu. Kwa hivyo, as you know, hata hitaji hiyo umbilical cord tena. There has to be separation of the baby and the mother. And that is why we are coming. Once the baby is born, the umbilical cord is tied, inafungwa. Na ifungwi na waya. Pana, inafungwa na uzi maalum. A special string, Yes, in the hospital, kama umewai katwa mahali, if you have ever been injured, the doctor has special strings for stitching. So we talk of that special string. That special string is surgical by nature. It is already treated. It cannot be harmful to the baby. So the baby is tied. The umbilical cord is tied up at a particular level. Haitafungwa kubwa, near the navel. Around there, we talk maybe of an allowance of centimeters. An allowance of centimeters. So once the baby is born, the umbilical cord is tied, and the cut to separate the baby from the placenta. So I want you to understand. This time now, the umbilical cord, mtoto ametoka nje, analilia hapo, anafungwa na uzi. Hiyo uzi daktari anachukua maybe a special scalpel, anakata. And why is it tied? Tying of this umbilical cord prevent blood loss. Yes, tying prevent blood loss. Kufunga ile kitu inasaidia damu isivunje sana. It is very important to know that the tying of the umbilical cord is done and cut. The tying helps in preventing it is done to prevent the blood from flowing, damu kutoka. Umbilical cord is tied to prevent excessive bleeding. And it is very important. Reasons for cutting the umbilical cord. I want to say, why is it cut? Why does the doctor decide, or the midwife decide to cut it? The reason is to separate the baby from the placenta. The umbilical cord is cut to separate the baby from the placenta, to make the baby independent. That is also another case. Ndio mtoto achukuliwe, aoshwe, baada ya kuoshwa pale au apaguzwe. Akipanguzwa akuwe tied na nguo warm. Remember ametoka nje ametoka nje ya mama, ako outside the womb. Then the part of the umbilical cord that remain in the mother body and the placenta are known as afterbirth. The part of the umbilical cord and the placenta zenye zinabaki ndani ya mama zinaitwa afterbirth. Na hapo ndipo atazisukuma zitoke. Those ones cannot be, they are thrown away. So they are also released from the body after the baby is born. Now, we have covered adequately the position of this young baby, this baby. Now, as we have covered that, when remember there is a tied place, they are called the tied place. You remember the umbilical cord, the tied place of the umbilical cord. It has to heal. Remember, it is a kind of a wound, nikidonda. So it heals with time, and as it heals with time, the place is called a navel. That is where you have the navel. So it is very, very important to note that, and it is very healthy for you to realize why it is very important to understand the birth process. So I will go through the birth process once again, but before I go through the birth process again, because of those people who are asking, teacher, you are very fast. We want to you give us a summary of what you have said. So I start again, and I said this so that I may sum up very well. The period between fertilization and birth is called gestation period. It lasts between 9 months to 40 weeks. 9 months, that is 40 weeks or 280 days. So we are talking of terms of month. Month is 9, weeks is 40 weeks, and we talk of 280 days. And I said, when this baby is in the womb, it gets something we talk of engagement. After engagement, that is the turning of the baby to lie in an upside down. That one is very important, so that the head may face there. It is above, directly above the cervix. So during the birth, there are labor pains. These labor pains are caused by contraction of the uterine wall. And remember, we said the uterine muscle contracts and pushes the baby through the vagina. That is something we should not forget. There is something I want to say. The widening of the cervix, the birth canal, there is, it has to widen. Remember, and some people are asking, how can it happen? It's a very small place. The vagina and the cervix, the body of a human being, especially women, it is flexible. Inafanana bladder, rubber band, it can stretch itself, and after that it will heal and contract, go back to normal. So I'm saying this, the cervix widen. Usisahau hiyo ndio njia ya mtoto. The widening of the cervix. The widening of the cervix is called dilation. Dilation. That is the word. Dilation. The widening of the cervix to allow the baby to pass is called dilation. Nataka usisahau hiyo jina. D-I-L-A-T-I-O-N. That is the widening of the cervix. Now, we also talked of bursting of amnion. Bursting of amnion. Yani, hakuwezekani mtoto kuzaliwa kabla amniotic fluid ipasuke. Lakini kuna hiyo process. And then the actual birth process. There is something I would want to repeat once again. You may be asked stages of birth process. There is engagement. After engagement, the uterine wall contracts. That is step number 2. Nazogea kuhusu engagement, kupiduka kwa kichwa. Then we talk the uterine wall contracts. As it is contracting, the labor pains are being experienced concurrently. These events are taking place, I think not concurrently, simultaneously. The uterine walls are contracting, the same time the woman is feeling the pain. Then the amnion, that is the third process, the amnion is broken and the amniotic fluid is released. I'm saying the amnion is broken and the amniotic fluid is released now. And as we said, the contraction pushes the baby downward through the cervix, and the cervix has already opened, it has already widened, Now the baby comes out through the uterus, through the enlarged birth canal, that is a vagina. The head comes out first. Never forget that. Once the baby is born, the umbilical cord is tied and then cut to separate the baby from the placenta, and also to make the baby become independent. Tying prevent loss of blood. Tying of the umbilical cord prevent loss of blood. The tied part heals, and after healing in future it is a navel. Then the part of the umbilical cord that remain in the mother body and the placenta are known as afterbirth. You know, you'll be asked a question, what are afterbirth? Afterbirth, nataka ushike vizuri, ni ile umbilical cord ilibakia baada ya kukatwa na placenta. Placenta mnakumbuka is disc shaped, ndio inasaidia pale, ndio iko na blood capillaries za mtoto kusaidiwa. So ndio apate chakula, apate maji, atoe hewa chafu na kadhalika. So then they are also released from the body after the baby is born. I think so far so good. The birth process is already catered. Today we are not going for a break, since our lesson was to capture the birth process, and I don't want to mix you. So I want you to make a summary of that, the summary of birth process, and then I'll give you some questions. These questions will make our lesson end, and explain the following terms. These questions will help you for revision purpose. Number 1, what is amniotic fluid? Yes, the work, and then you explain the function of amniotic fluid. Then we talk of what is amnion, the function of amnion, what is semen. Then we talk of what is umbilical cord. Umbilical cord. We cannot talk of umbilical cord without saying what are the function of the umbilical cord. Then what are the function of the placenta? What is placenta and what are the function of the placenta? I want to go back again. Yes, I've said what is umbilical cord, what are the function of the umbilical cord. Placenta, what is placenta, what are the functions of placenta. Define or explain what is gestation period. What is gestation period in human beings. Then we talk of, you tell me, what is afterbirth. What is afterbirth. Then you tell me, what is conception. What is conception. Then you tell me, what is a foetus. Explain what is a foetus. What is an embryo. What is a zygote. Yes. What is internal fertilization. Naona watu wanaandika nyumbani. Unaandika what is internal fertilization, and then what is ovulation. Yes, what is ovulation. Then we talk of what is menstruation. Menstruation. We've come from ovulation. Now what is menstruation? Last but not least, what is wet dreams? And then after you have answered those questions, you are good to go. You will be ready to answer any question that comes on your way, and if time allows, in future we will, after finishing what we are learning, we will go through those questions and they will help you pass your KCPE. Thank you very much, and I want to encourage you wherever you are and tell you this will be better to our students who are at school, especially those who are in primary school, and those who are at home. Please observe social distance, wear a mask, and wash your hands. And again, above all other things, stay at home and stay safe. We want you safe, and we love you so much, our dear pupils. Thank you very much. See you next time in the same place. God bless you.
RFM niturakurehera maundu mero mitambo-ini.